Welcome back, everybody. It is the OP Leprechaun, and I'm standing inside the Iron Farm building and doing a little AFK. Not actually for the Iron Farm, though it is a good place to stand for it. Yeah, so we still got, everything in here, mud farm, all the stuff that we had before. But I discovered something a little while ago. Ever since, for some reason, the last time I made a backup of. Wait, hey. Again, somebody help a guy out with an actual working anti-creeper data pack or mod or something. Not creeper, Enderman. The Enderman grief is just ridiculous in here, and I get so tired of it. So yes, I have been AFKing right here, trying to get a hold of some more gunpowder. I remember the other episode when we went mining for netherite and I took like 3/4 of what I had. That turned out to be kind of problematic because I didn't realize that my mob farm here had glitched out. Mobs were still spawning, and every once in a while they were falling, but the redstone mechanism had stopped working. I had to fiddle around with that for a little while, but basically what ended up happening is I had to pick up the comparator and then put it back down and restart the system. Don't ask me why. I don't understand what happened to it, but ever since I did the backup and I made a copy of this world to put in a creative so that I could experiment with, building these, it was messed up, and I don't know how long it was messed up. So, yeah. Other than that, I have spent quite a bit of time over here in the new area doing a little bit of planning. So yes, we have been a little bit busy. As you can see, I have all of the villager trading areas that I want to do in this area all lined out and ready to go. I can't quite see everything from this spot, so we're just going to go like this. Okay, so in the orange we have the librarians, and I know that seems like a small amount for the sheer amount of librarians I need, but these buildings are actually pretty big, and they're going to be like stalls. Like they're going to be in the library. In stalls, are not going to be wandering around. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of room, a lot of different librarians in here. I'm going to try and, all of the librarians that I have that have glass trades are going to end up in one building, so I don't have to meander through them all and wonder who has a glass trade and who doesn't. Right now I have them marked off with an asterisk by their label, but I'm just going to put all the glass trade ones in one building. And then all the superfluous ones here and there, I'll sprinkle throughout the other ones. Blue is going to be my masons, and there's going to be quite a few masons. This is going to be my quarry. So this is actually going to get dug out a little more right here with a retaining wall and some stairs to go down to the quarry. And then all of the mason trades will be here, have access to my copper farm. And the quarry will go down a long way, and I'll have different levels at which I can, I'll have an elevator for cobblestone. I'll have an elevator for gold. I'll have elevators for deep slate diamond. I'll have all that lined out here so that from the main level of the quarry, I can get to any specific mining height that I want to. This is going to be the blacksmith area. So we're going to have our armor smiths, our weaponsmiths, our toolsmiths, everything that has to do with iron. And then my iron bulk storage is actually going to move into here. The farm isn't moving, but I am going to, I'm starting to get quite a bit of iron stored up, which is, the point of having an iron farm in the first place. But if we look here, I have a full double chest there, full hopper, working on a second double chest of iron blocks. So that's a ton of iron. Cartographers. Now I haven't messed around much with cartographers yet, but I do want to get them. I want to get the maps. I want to do the whole 9 yards. Okay. So the dark green areas are actually where I'm designating spots for gardens and custom trees and things like that to make this look nice, have little flower beds. The brown and green stripe are actually going to be for the Fletchers. And I picked the Fletchers because of the stick trade, because this one right here is going to be a storage silo for all of my wood products. So my tree farm, as we know, is in the end. And I actually spent quite a bit of time between this episode and last. I want to get a shulker box full of all the different wood types in log form, just to start with. Because, you go through wood like crazy. It's just inevitable. So, yeah. So, we're going to have Fletchers over here, wood storage right here, some custom trees, and garden area, garden beds. The purple blocks are the projected roadway around. I have not picked out the color palette for the roadway yet. Kind of have to decide what it's going to be. Over here, lime green is actually going to be my clerics / herbalist, alchemists, whatever you want to call them. I know they're called clerics, but I kind of view them as the herbalists, the alchemists. So again, big flower garden, park, thing like that, custom trees. I've been practicing custom trees. Not ready to plant any just yet and show them off, but it's going to happen. The cyan is going to be probably a little water feature or point of interest. This one over here is definitely for sure going to be a fountain. That one I know. This, we're actually going to be working on today. This is actually my moss farm. You'll see that when we work on today. I'm not going to explain it now. Obviously, barn going over top of the sheep. And this is where the shepherds are going to be. I don't need a whole lot of shepherds. I actually very rarely use shepherds, but I'm going to try to do banners and things like that. It's something I haven't messed around with at all, so that's why I want to try it this time. Plus, I want to have all the villager professions in my quote-unquote village here. The pink area, that is going to be our butchers. That is going to be our butchers because the sheeps are right there. And once I get some progress on some building here, I'm not going to do it all at once. It's going to need to get built up. It's going to need... I need more villagers in order to populate all this. So we're going to start with the stuff that I do have. So we're going to start with a librarian build. We're going to start with a Fletcher build, an armorer build, get all that stuff moved over, get a cleric build done. We're going to get the first of the mason builds done, maybe 2 of them, because we do have 12 masons. I have to get... I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to end up actually moving the villager breeder from here over to somewhere that's a little more centrally located for this area. Haven't quite decided yet, but I will probably move it over to the farming district, which is going to be back here. So this whole area here, after it gets dug out, is where all of the farms are going to be. I'm going to put nice rolling wheat fields and things like that under the mountain, yes. But we're going to get all the fields, the beetroots and everything. The pumpkin and melon farms are going to get moved over here near the barn in a silo-like arrangement, just because it should be a silo for vertical farms, don't you think? Back here is also going to be the remainder of the animals. So the cow pasture, the pig pens and hutches, the chicken pens, and the leather workers are going to go back in there. We're going to do a little build. We're going to dig a little bit. We're going to do a little build. We're going to dig a little bit. We're going to try and balance this out as much as we can. So today we are going to be working on the moss farm. Because I don't actually have a moss farm yet. It's actually kind of weird to me. It's usually one of the earlier things I do, just because it's so easy to convert for bone meal. But we all know I don't need bone meal in this world. I have so many farms that produce bone meal. I would struggle to use it all at one time. It would. I mean, between the wither farm, the dark spawner, the iron farm and the tulips, the automatic wheat farm and all those seeds. Oy, I have so much bone meal. So that's a good thing because I can make the simpler version of this farm. There is a version of the moss farm that I'm gonna make. I can't remember who I originally got the basis of this design. It was either Pixel Riffs or Smallish Beans. I forget which one. They did the original version of this farm, and their farm was an auto reloading kind that turned everything back into bone meal to self propagate again. I don't need to do that. It adds layers of complexity that I don't actually need. If I get 3 or 4 double chests of moss blocks, get 1 or 2 double chests of moss carpets, and a double chest each of azalea and flowering azalea. That's all I need at any given time. I never use any more than that in one singular project. And even if I need more, I can run the farm. We're going to start on that today. I think the footprint is big enough. Let's stop talking and just, maybe start building a little farm. Because, you've never seen me build a farm. Nope. Never happens. All right, so we're going to start with, I need 5 furnaces. So right at the end here, we're going to put 5 of these down. And I need a bunch of glass. And I'm actually going to make this on the ground, and I'm going to put the storage underneath because I actually have kind of a limited roof line on this, which is totally fine. I'm here for it. I don't want to make this into another huge build. I want this to be a little cottage build type of deal here. Okay, I am referring back to my creative test world a little bit to remind myself I haven't made one of these in about a year and a half. Okay. Oh, I think I made it one too close to... Yes. I need to move the whole thing over 1. Okay. I got everything moved over right so it'll fit inside the build here. I need to grab some redstone components. I'm using polished andesite in this world for all of my redstone stuff. In case you don't know how a moss farm typically works, we have a stone generator. And so on your stone generator, you will have water supply coming from either side. You'll have the lava above it, turning it into stone. Pistons push the stone, and it starts pushing, and as it pushes, it gets all the way across. There is a moss block suspended just above it, and then you hit it with bone meal. The moss block spreads to the stone that you just generated, then the pistons push again, they smush it, they flow down, they get collected by hoppers and sent to storage. Now we have Zabaro. Okay, so this is honestly the basics of the whole farm. The only thing left to do is to set up a storage and retrieval area from down below, and to set up an etho hopper clock. Okay, well, here we are in all its glory, I guess. It's being really finicky. I'm not 100% sure what the deal is this time around. I've never actually had as many struggles getting this thing running. I even tried moving the dispensers around. Don't mind these dispensers on the side, they're not doing anything. I was trying to figure out some way. It's just, she's acting up something fierce. So, I've got the etho hopper clock in here. In case you don't know what a hopper clock is, it's 2 hoppers running back and forth between each other. A specific number of blocks equals a certain amount of time. You can turn it on and off with this lever right here, which runs into the stone generator right down here, which pushes the stone out here to get bone mealed. I'm still doing good on bone meal. Bone mealed this block of moss. This piston is to pop down and break the things on top of that moss block, because if there's something on top of it, it can't take the bone meal. And normally what happens is water comes out of the dispensers on each side, it floods the whole thing, it washes them down, and everything's good. But for some reason, I am getting too many carpets right in here. and the water is not breaking them, it's not reaching them, and so I keep getting stoppered up right here and keep having to break stone, which then is clogging my sorting system because it's not wanting to let it all go into the composter. It's just, it's being weird, it's being funky. Let's see if adjusting the time on the hopper clock makes her run a little better. It's running a little slower. But see, you get these carpets in the way, and instead of washing the carpet away like it's supposed to, it's running right next to it. And I don't know why that's happening. Oh, maybe the trick is to just run it a little bit slower. Maybe she'll run. See, right there. Well, that one changed, but right there, I've got that one carpet block, and that's what ends up happening. Is I get a carpet block in there, and then it clogs these up. So I'm not 100% sure what the dealio is with these. Why they are being. Water physics in Minecraft is just always a pain. Like, I don't know why this one's running fine now where it's coming out and going off, but this one is not. There's literally no reason this shouldn't be washing over here. And I can't figure out a way to make it work all the time. And again, this has not ever really been a problem for me before with this farm. It's always worked just fine. I've never had to... Once you get her set up and going, it just goes. This one has been a real trial and error. I meant to come back several times and show you guys progress, but I was having so many difficulties with it that it was not coming through right, and I just don't know what to do about it. So I'm gonna have to do some fiddling around with this. I mean, I'm getting useful amounts of everything that I need. And we're back. Welcome to a little sneak peek of the build that is coming around the moss farm that you just saw me building. There was a lot of struggles with that farm. There was a lot of struggles with the remaining clips from that video. I ended up scrapping them all. I decided to just go a little bit of a shorter one today and do kind of an outro for you guys, because it really wasn't working very well. And you could tell the farther and farther I got into those videos that I was getting more and more frustrated. Again, a little sneak peek here. You can see I'm not even using the same moss farm anymore. Ended up having to scrap that one. I have a part in a later episode that'll show me swapping that out and getting this one. But I just wanted to show, like, the one successful thing I made out of this entire thing, the storage room, which is, you know, like the simplest thing in the world. You know, this is Impulse SV's storage separator thingy. Got moss blocks, moss carpets, flowering azalea, regular azalea. Everything else goes into that hopper chain there and gets turned into bone meal. So, you know, we've got 3 full chests of moss blocks. The new farm runs really, really good. And it just kind of pains me that the one that I originally started with didn't end up working the way we wanted it to. But, you know, it further goes to show just how bad I am at redstone. You know, someday maybe I will start to figure it out. At the time that I was building this and recording this episode, I actually didn't have the understanding of redstone that I do now. Because again, this is me from the future, you know, editor Leprechaun talking here. So I understand a little more now what I did wrong with this farm, but at the time it was just baffling me and I should have just moved on. But I spent like 2 more days screwing around with that, and by the time it was done, I didn't want to look at it ever again. And that really got conveyed across the remainder of this episode, so I just decided to say, nah, we're not doing it anymore, and we're just going to do an outro and do a little shorty video. So, once again, I am the OP Leprechaun. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode, and I hope I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.